Right now at noon, jury selection underway for the former UW football player accused of sexual assault. And California officials say they're looking for a second suspect following a fatal shooting at a festival in Gilroy.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now on this Monday. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. Get that humidity out of here.
Hey, it's on the way out, Mark. We are clearing things out. We're even clearing out some of the shower and thunderstorm activity that we had earlier on this morning. A lot of that now leaving the state. That last batch of showers and storms just towards the south and east of Kenosha. So the front is completely clearing our neck of the woods, working its way towards the south and east. Still some storms to go through Chicagoland and parts of northern Indiana, but that's all moving away from us. Behind it, the sunshine is taking over. Here's visible cloud track. You see where the cloud cover is moving away. This dark area represents where the sunshine is in place. We can see that starting to take over here in Madison. This is live looking over the Union right now with all the boats out. It's a beautiful picture. The temperature 80 degrees. We're going to see them warm up. We're going to see the temperatures warm up a couple more degrees. A lot of us, though, are in the upper 70s and low 80s. Tomorrow will be even cooler, but it'll feel good through the afternoon.
All right, we'll check back in a few minutes. Thank you, Chris. Authorities in northwestern Wisconsin say shootings at 2 homes have left 5 people dead, including the suspected shooter and 2 others injured. Chippewa County Sheriff's officials say deputies responded to a 911 call about a shooting at a residence in Lake Hallie on Sunday night and found a man and a woman dead. 2 other adults were rushed to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Deputies went to a residence in the town of Lafayette to notify the family of one of the people found dead in Lake Hallie. There, they found 3 additional people dead of gunshot wounds, including a man, a woman, and a boy. Authorities say the person suspected in both shootings is among the dead. Jury selection underway for former University of Wisconsin football player Quintus Cephas. He's accused of sexually assaulting 2 women. Cephas faces 1 third-degree sexual assault charge and 1 second-degree sexual assault of an intoxicated victim charge. The criminal complaint said he assaulted the 2 women who claimed to be drunk in his Madison apartment last April. In a statement to police, Cephas said the encounters were consensual. His trial scheduled to begin tomorrow. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office says a 7-year-old girl has died after being hit by a truck at Jellystone Park in the town of Delton. Deputies say a 76-year-old man was driving through the camping area Sunday morning when he hit a girl who was in the road as he reached the top of the hill. The girl was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities say speed was not a factor in the incident. The accident remains under investigation. Police in Janesville are searching for a man who robbed the Lions Quick Mart at 104 East Racine Street earlier this morning. Police say the clerk reported the robber was a black man dressed in all black and wearing a ski mask, left the scene with an undisclosed amount of money. Police released a canine to track the robber, but the effort was unsuccessful. If you have any information on this crime, please call Crime Stoppers. 3 people are dead after a mass shooting at the Gilroy Garlic Festival in California. The youngest victim just 6 years old. 15 people also wounded before police shot and killed the gunman, who's identified as Santiago William Ligon, a 19-year-old from Gilroy. Police also searching for a second suspect described as a possible accomplice to the gunman. President Trump has picked a fight with the House Oversight Committee chair investigating the Trump administration. In more than a dozen tweets and retweets, President Trump called Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings a brutal bully and told him to focus on his, quote, dangerous and filthy district. The president described it as a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess where no human beings would want to live. Well, this weekend, Cummings told CBS News, I will not be distracted from doing everything I can to uplift the lives of the people in Baltimore. Trump has accepted Dan Coats' resignation as the Director of National Intelligence. Coats had a tense relationship with the president and disagreed with him on security threats such as Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Trump has named Congressman John Ratcliffe to take his place. The Texas Republican has been a vocal supporter of Trump and his views. In more local news, drivers should be prepared for congestion and delays at Verona Road as the Wisconsin Department of Transportation moves into the next phase of construction. Short-term lane closures are scheduled on Verona Road south of the Beltline from Sunday night through Friday morning. Southbound Verona Road will be limited to 2 lanes until Tuesday night. crews will then shift to the northbound side of Verona Road on Wednesday morning through the end of the week. But DOT officials say the project will wrap up in November, and the wait will be worth it considering the increased safety measures.
Traffic volume was the #1 leader, plus accidents at the PD Verona Road intersection and working up and down this corridor for safety purposes.
The Verona Road project began 7 years ago. It'll officially wrap up this fall. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you love the idea of cast iron cooking, stick around, because today I'm going to show you how to keep your cookware in tip-top shape. Tip-top. Recently, I learned that many of you are curious about how to take care of your cast iron cookware. So I thought I'd show you how we do it in the test kitchen and share a recipe that's buttery delicious too. When you first buy cast iron cookware and get it home, or if you haven't used it in a while, you want to rinse it with hot water. Then use a stiff brush to scrub it, but make sure you don't use any soap. Then, generously wipe the inside with a paper towel that's been dipped in vegetable oil before placing your cookware in a hot oven for about an hour. This is called seasoning the pan. After carefully removing it, let it cool, and it's ready to use. Once you've used it, you can clean it with hot water and a scrub brush. You can also use a salt scrub if need be, but never use dish soap or let it soak. Otherwise, you'll have to season it all over again. Once you've seasoned your pan, why not celebrate by whipping up a batch of buttermilk biscuits? They're so flaky and full of buttery goodness, they're hard to resist. To get the recipe for our cast iron buttermilk biscuits, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cast iron way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. A sunny and mild start to the work week. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your first alert forecast when we come back. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues and call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 45 points. The NASDAQ, however, down 55. The S&P 500 off about 6.5. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this sunny Monday.
Yeah, and now it's really, like you said, turning around nicely. The humidity's starting to slide by. Temperatures are nice. Perfect for golfing, and I'll be as quick as I get done with cow scores. We're headed out to Middleton, where the Wisconsin FFA Foundation has their Southern Wisconsin golf outing, all to benefit the blue and gold in our FFA chapter. So I appreciate all the golfers that waited out the rain this morning and decided to join us. Well, markets are focused in to a large extent on what's being discussed as far as crop quality. This afternoon, we'll get the official numbers from USDA. Remember, this week, they are out resurveying a lot of areas in the United States to find out what farmers really planted for their August 12th crop report. Earlier numbers, everybody said they were very misleading and pretty much incomplete, because right here in Wisconsin, we've had farmers that were still trying to plant up until 2 weeks ago. So USDA making another circle around to try to see what's going on. You see that corn, beans, and wheat moderately higher on the midday. We just don't have a lot of news happening right now. Honestly, until the combines start rolling and we start getting some of the harvest information in, it's going to be a little thin. We are starting to get some early reports on Wisconsin's winter wheat crop. Talked to some elevators on Friday. They said test weights are on the light side, which is to be expected given the weather we had this spring. Yields are so-so, about average, and we are going to have to keep an eye on the quality side of things with regard to foreign matter. She was telling me that for folks that did not use or could not get fungicide on, you may have some problems that are going to cost you at the elevator. So have those conversations early. Barrel and black cheese, both unchanged on a Monday. The AA butter, that's starting the week a little on the soft side, down 2 cents at $2.35 a pound. You know, I'm reminding myself also that I like this kind of weather. Let's keep it around because remember, Thursday is the beginning of the Wisconsin State Fair. So again, more and more of what I'll be talking about, Mark, is going to hinge more and more on what Chris has in the forecast.
All right. Food on a stick right around the corner.
That's right.
All
Yes.
Have fun golfing.
Thanks.
We'll see you later. Here is Chris with that forecast. How are things looking?
Things are looking great for us. Temperatures are coming down after the cold front. And remember, I always say it's the second day after a cold front that's going. Definitely a comfortable, cooler day. Just wait until tomorrow. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen our temperature slide anywhere from about 2 to 7 degrees, just depending on where you are. With the Dells 7 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Same for Juneau. Madison 5 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. That's where our temperature sits at 80 degrees right now. The Dells at 76, the Cross also at 80. A lot of our friends, and including us here in Madison, are in the upper 70s to low 80s. Janesville already at 82. We may warm a couple more degrees, but there's a strong northwest wind coming in, so it's really going to hinder the ability for the air to truthfully warm up. Those are coming in at 9 miles per hour. The dew points are still into the low 60s for now, but they will begin to slide eventually. 70 is still the dew point in Janesville. Same for Mineral Point. So for a lot of folks, as you step outside, yes, it is certainly still humid, but let's take a look at the upper Midwest as a whole. You get up towards Brainerd, Superior, Morris, Fargo. That's where our dew points are into the 50s. That air is on the way, folks. It'll be here as early as tomorrow, and it's going to stick around for quite some time. The showers and thunderstorms clearing out from earlier, they're all being pushed towards the south and east. That's where we have a cold front right now. That cold front is getting on out of here. High pressure straight out of Canada is going to be taking control. So it's going to feel great this week. We're going to see plenty of sunshine this week as well as that continues to push on towards the south and east. Pay attention, though, to what happens as we get into Thursday. Once this starts to move over towards our east a little bit, we begin to get in on more so a southerly wind component. Once that happens, we'll start to see a little bit more in the way of humidity and some slightly warmer temperatures. But for now, folks, things are going to be very comfortable. In fact, overnight tonight, we're going to cool down into the upper 50s. We'll stay in the 70s for highs tomorrow. This is lunchtime tomorrow. A lot of folks are still going to be in the upper 60s and low 70s at that point. We'll top out right around 76 degrees and then cool back down into the 50s again as we head into your Wednesday morning. So it's certainly going to be one of those more cooler and very comfortable patterns. But here we are Friday and into Saturday. That return flow, as we like to call it, starts to take over. Our temperatures come up just a little bit more. So that's why you see those temperatures around 83 and 84. It'll be a little bit more humid on those days, but then comes another cold front towards Sunday and then to Monday next week. That's going to cool our temperatures right back down. Check it out. Our average high is fairly level at 81 right now, so we may actually get in on a couple of good days with those temperatures below average as opposed to normal. But this afternoon, we'll top out right around 82. Those winds stay out of the north and west at 8 to 15 miles per hour. 58 degrees tonight, so it's going to be very comfortable. A good night for stargazing, too, with the low humidity. We're going to see a crisp, clear sky, but it's sunshine, folks, all the way through this week, all the way into the weekend. We'll have that brief rain chance on Sunday. Even still, that doesn't look like a lot. Yesterday's rain chance didn't come in until a lot of us went to bed and woke up this morning. But then early next week, we're going to do the same thing all over again. So we're going to be in a pattern where I do think eventually we'll actually see our temperatures go below normal for a bit, and we're going to stay drier than normal as well.
Perfect.
Perfect way to end the summer.
And I would assume that normal high is starting to drift down as well.
It is slowly drifting down. Those 70s show up pretty quickly into August. Yep.
Okay, keep an eye on that.
All right.
It's a great weather, though.
Yes, it is.
There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, Linda Barch from the Bruce Company is here taking your plant and garden calls. 270-9933, the number to call. We'll get to them right after this. Linda Barch from the Bruce Company is here taking your plant and garden calls, 270-9933. Good to see you.
Good to
It's a
see you.
beautiful day. And
Yes, it
flower
is.
time, there's butterflies and hummingbirds.
And bees. You know, we like the flowers, but all of those plants that we use help butterflies and bees and hummingbirds to feed and survive and complete their life cycle. So there's a combination. We've got butterfly weed down front, which is one of their favorites, and then little Gaillardia, purple coneflower. Well, actually, it's an orange coneflower. Phlox. This Russian sage back here is very good for bees, and then of course we've got butterfly bush also.
And these are all perennials.
These are all perennials that are going to come back every year.
And there are annuals too that I'll attract.
There are. Salvia seems to be a real big favorite that we were talking about earlier, and they actually have one that sort of looks like the butterfly weed that is an annual also.
They're so magical. It's
Yes.
fun when they come to the
Yes.
garden. All right, let's start with Deborah in Cambridge. Hi, Deb. What's your question?
My question is, can I freeze my basil after I pick it?
Okay. Well, I know some friends of mine that actually do freeze the leaves also. They are going to darken, but you'll still get some flavor when you're making soups and spaghetti and things like that. But a really good way to preserve that is to make pesto, where you put it in a blender and add garlic and olive oil, and I love it.
That'll freeze.
Yes, really well.
All right, here's Ann in Browntown. Hi, Ann. What's your question?
I have a tomato plant that has the tomatoes have blossom rot. And what can I do to stop that? Or
Okay, when tomatoes develop blossom end rot, the ones that have that, obviously, you're going to have to harvest and cut that out and try to use as much of that as you can. But to prevent that, with all the rain that we've had, probably they're lacking in calcium. So you can supplement with, and you've got various products that you can use, or as long as you supply the micronutrient calcium, that will help.
Okay, let's check in with Kay in McFarland. Hi, Kay. What's your question?
Yes, I have an Asian maple tree that I planted last year, and I had heard how the winter was so rough on Japanese maples. Mm-hmm. But mine came in, flowered all the way. It's been beautiful, except that now from the top, it's starting to lose its leaves.
Okay, well, if it's starting to lose its leaves, I'm wondering, Japanese beetle have been feeding on various things, so that's making some of them look a little bit bad. That plant should not be suffering from winter cold this late. If it leafed out, then it is almost August. The tree's leaves have done the job that they have to do. So if you start to get an early fall drop on it, I wouldn't be too concerned.
I have a tree that loses its leaves every year, like in the end of July. The tree's dead. Nope, next year it's fine.
That's right.
All right, let's go to Sharon in Fitchburg. Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Thank you for taking my call. Yeah, I've got a rhubarb plant that I've been fighting with for several years. It used to do really good. It's in my yard, and we would like to transplant it into the garden. Okay. And we've got good soil and fertilizer in the garden now. Our garden's doing very good. And we were wondering if we could do that now and then put some sand or something with it.
Well, if you have good soil in your garden, rhubarb is a heavy feeder because it puts out a lot of stems and leaves that people are going to harvest. Doing it in the fall is probably a little bit better time. You can move it now. You just have to make sure that you would water it. But otherwise, fall would be a good time. Make sure you don't plant it too deep. And I don't think if you have good soil, you don't necessarily have to add sand.
Wait a few weeks.
Yes, we're moving into a nicer time period of cooler temperatures, but fall is real good to move rhubarb.
All right, Lisa in Beloit. Hi, Lisa. What's your question?
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Lisa. I'd like to know, is something wrong with my aster? I have half of it is growing and blooming, and it dies, and the other half is real tall and still doing nothing.
Well, the asters are not going to be blooming yet. They bloom later. They're probably going to be blooming in September. But the fact that a portion of it has died out, if something dies on a plant and it's brown and there isn't any life, prune that out because it just detracts from the rest of it. But the rest of that aster, if you don't like it to get that tall, you have to prune it back earlier in the season, not now.
Because you're cutting off all the flowers.
You'll be cutting off the flowers right now. Very good. Thanks.
All right, so wait. We're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Linda will talk to you off the air. We'll see you next time.
Very good.
Enjoy the weather.
Thanks.
Speaking of which, here's Chris. Chris with a final look at it.
Hey, plenty of sunshine does continue as we go through the rest of today. And really that sunshine is going to continue all week long. The humidity gets lower as well. We'll see those highs in the low 80s today. But tomorrow we struggle to get out of the 70s. I don't think we will. Same for Wednesday. On Thursday, it's the low 80s, a little bit more humidity Friday and Saturday. But then another little cold front decides to arrive Sunday. That'll keep our temperatures in check for early next week, too.
Looking pretty darn good. All right, Chris, thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.